Hey, how you doing, guys? I wanted to comment on a problem that just happened yesterday, and kind of a problem that's been happening to me last year or two, couple of years. Yesterday I was using my iPad, and this screen popped up that's saying it needed the iCloud password. I'm like, well, okay. So I went ahead and typed it in. After that, it said um, I typed it in too many times. Well, I typed it in once. I guess it was wrong. I tried another one. And all of a sudden it locked me out and saying, okay, you need to change your iCloud password. I'm like, okay. So I changed the iCloud password. Then I had to send authorization code to my iPhone first, and I had to put that in. There was a big problem, and something that should never happen anyway. I mean, yeah, I typed in the password twice. It shouldn't automatically make me change it. And this happened before in the past, something similar. In fact, it was worse last time because when I changed the password, iCloud password, um, it kept on asking for it in preferences on my Mac. And so I'd have to type it in there, type it in there. Finally, it would finally accept it. And then maybe time went on, maybe a couple hours later, then asked for it again. And this went on for a couple of days, and something that should never happen as well. And now just gonna give you an example. If occasionally, for me to comment on something, every operating system, product, or service does have its pros and cons. Of course, I mentioned a couple of things on Microsoft, Windows, and I think some other products. It has to be substantial. Something substantially wrong with it to make it me to make a comment, because like I said, everything has its pros and cons, good things and bad things. Um, and if I have a feeling it's a pro or con type of thing, then I won't mention it. But something like this would be a big problem. And another thing I have a problem with as well, which would be more for an average user, because most of these, new features when a new operating system comes out on the iOS or the Mac, I tend not to really use or find useful for me every day. It might be useful for the mom, pop, grandma, grandpa, whatever, brother, sister. And give an example. I think the feature where you can actually make phone calls on your Mac from your iPhone without having to actually use your iPhone. But the only thing is to actually get a lot of these software features to work is really hard, because you have to go in your FaceTime, your Mac preferences, your iOS preferences, your FaceTime, and I actually have to download a user guide how to do this. And then even then, it was hard for me, and I'm used to digging pretty deep in operating systems, configuration files, and so forth. But I can imagine just an average user to get um, these new features to work on their, iPhone, iPad, or even Mac. I believe if they utilize some of these new features, they need to have one setting that you can set, or maybe two at the most, two or three, and would enable these features for like making iPhone calls on your Mac, and then set that setting in there, and it automatically goes to where it needs to change the settings to actually work. So, but to me, that's not so much an issue because I don't use most of those. I'm sure a lot of other people do, so it should be something that needs to be improved on with some of these new software features and so on. Give me your thoughts on this. I mean, have you had troubles resetting your iWord password like I have, or some other operating system issues? Till then, have a great rest of the week.